All right, so I'm sitting here with two awesome Tesla YouTubers. Right here we have James Cooke from England, and over here we have Like Tesla from Georgia, the United States of America. Mm-hmm. So these are two very different geographic locations, and you both went for Tesla. What made you go for that decision? Was it based off of the ease of charging, or like, were you electric before this, or was Tesla sort of what drove you to that?
Well, I had a Nissan Leaf before, and the second I got in that car, I was, in the test drive in fact, I was like, you know what, this is the future. Electric drive.
In the Nissan Leaf?
In the Nissan Leaf.
Wow, okay.
The problem the Nissan Leaf had was it was first gen, there weren't that many chargers, so it was basically like 50, 60 miles at a push, and then you were thinking, where do I charge? And to which the answer was usually 60 miles back the other way at home. So the second I could get an electric car with a decent range, I did, and that was the Tesla Model S. Mm-hmm. And since having that, I've also then realized, that it has many, many other benefits, and my favorite one of which is the space.
All right, so Kimberly.
We have kind of a similar story. We started with the Nissan Leaf as well. Mm-hmm. Georgia at the time had really good incentives, so we actually leased it, and then we leased it again, and it was almost free for us, but it got us, thinking about EVs, and then we knew we wanted to get a Tesla, and we kind of debated with the S and the X, which one to get, but with the kids, we decided to go for the X.
Mm-hmm. And so to that point, you decided to go for the X because of the kids.
Yes.
Because it's sort of like the ultimate,
it's the family car,
right,
for sure.
Great family car.
I mean, the S is good too, but if you have young kids in car seats, having the wings that go up.
It was designed for that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so much easier, especially if you have a young child that's still rear facing. It's really difficult to put them into any sedan, really, because it's hard to fit them in there, and if they're fighting you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I can attest to that.
Yes.
Yeah. I had that exact situation in my Tesla because my son was, I guess, 6 months old when I first got the car, and so I was obviously having to sort of cantilever myself to get him in and out. It would have been so much easier, to actually be able to step in and just plonk him down.
And so you have a Model S, and at the time, that was the only Tesla that you could buy, was the Model S. Would you, right now, if you could do a trade for an equal Model X, basically just the form factor, no increased range, no performance, no autopilot, nothing?
I would, except for the fact that I don't want, I'm grown emotionally attached to my car.
To your car, okay.
Yeah. So if I could keep my car and have a Model X.
Oh, I see. The option that everyone would take.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm attached to it.
Okay.
I've done 71,000 miles. I know the feel of that car.
Okay, and so you've done 71,000 miles in your Tesla, and this is not like around Europe. This is just staying in the UK.
Around the UK, yeah.
Right, and this is all non-autopilot because you don't have autopilot on this.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, Kim, you have autopilot, so maybe you can enlighten James about what are some of the benefits that you find about autopilot that you might not have expected?
At first, actually, I was really scared of it. Mm-hmm. But for road trips is where it really comes in handy. If I don't have it, I'm just exhausted. By the time I'm done with the road trip, I just feel like mentally exhausted, just having to focus a little bit more on the road. Also, with having kids, a lot of times they want a snack, or they drop their toy, or those little things like that. Being able to have it in autopilot while you're fishing, behind you to get whatever you need to get, it's a lot safer option.
See, my wife would say that she does have autopilot when she has to lean in the back. It's called her husband.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, so your wife doesn't see the need for it. What about you? Do you feel like you would like it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because although whenever I'm driving, I always give the road 100% of my attention, and I never under any circumstances try and do anything filming related.
Yeah.
If I did, it would be helpful to know that the car was, it would only be half a second away from having full attention on the road anyway.
Yeah.
But it would be great if the car would just be there as a backup, if you see what I mean. And I think there is that safety aspect, which is missing from the non-autopilot cars. If a car suddenly brakes in front of you in a non-autopilot anything, the car's not going to it's not going to do anything. You have to notice that.
Right.
And you should do, but people don't always.
And so now looking forward into the future, some of us are thinking about Model 3s, and fully autonomous seems like it's going to be an option that's going to happen in the future. Would you go for fully autonomous? Would you go for a fully autonomous that maybe wasn't 100% ready yet? There's different levels of autonomy.
Yeah.
And there's sort of the level 4, which is like, yeah, it'll drive itself, except sometimes it won't. Like,
Yeah.
would you go for a level 4, or would you want to wait out for a level 5? Like, go to sleep?
I think we're gonna wait it out because this will be the car that my husband will drive more as a commuter car, and until full autonomy is 100% ready, we'll wait it out, and we might even be leasing the Model 3, and so at the next lease or in a few years when it is ready at that point.
If you're asking about whether I would take that option at launch, I mean, it would probably just wind up as being a financial decision, because ultimately you'd be able to add it on at a later date. The car will come with the hardware. So it's just what makes the most sense financially at that point in time. If you're asking would I be comfortable being driven around in a car that was level 5 or level 4 for that matter, I would, yeah. I think if it was level 5, I would follow what the manufacturer said to the letter, I think. So if they said stay alert, keep your attention on the road, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be silly to do anything else.
So as Tesla YouTubers, you both kind of have sort of a vloggy, lifestyle-y kind of approach to it. What are some of the challenges that you face just as a YouTuber doing that?
Well, for me, it's about the time of fitting everything in, because my full-time job is looking after my 3-year-old son.
Right. But then you also do a vlog every single day.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to make it interesting and varied, and not just me talking at the camera about Tesla in particular, because I know that then I'll be talking to people who are interested in Tesla. And actually, I think the biggest question for Tesla is how they're going to generate interest beyond that initial audience, and actually, bring new people into what I personally think is the best car out there. The best kind of car as well. All electric vehicles are brilliant. I haven't met one I don't like yet.
A lot of it is just timing. I think the timing and figuring out how to fit it in, because right now we don't have anybody else.
People that haven't tried to produce a video don't
they
know
don't
the work
realize
that goes
it.
into
And we
it.
try to respond to as many comments as we possibly can and answer those comments. So all that stuff really does take quite a bit of time.
Do you think that the Model 3 is going to be like the breakaway car, the car that's going to appeal to the masses and sort of sway everyone towards electric or Tesla, or do you think it's going to be sort of a stepping stone in the right direction?
I think the car that appeals to the masses is the Model S. I think a lot of people can't get there financially. So if the Model 3 is close enough, but more people can get there, then I think it will sell like crazy. And the end result of that will be the other manufacturers will not be able to. I already think they can't ignore it. The risk that it will be as successful as it could be is enough to make them think we have to get serious with this.
I mean, I certainly hope for the same thing as well. I really hope that this is the car that makes everyone get on board with EVs.
Okay, and then follow-up last question.
That's last question.
Yeah, the last of the last questions. Moving forward, as we look at the Model Y, as we look at the pickup truck and the Semi, are those cars that you are interested in purchasing? And the Roadster too.
Yes.
Are those cars that you personally are interested in getting in the future? Do you think you're going to stick with what you have now? Are you going to just do the Model 3?
Well, I like the truck from a space point of view, but I don't think it'll fit on my drive, so probably have to give that one a miss.
Right.
And I quite like
probably
the idea.
Semi too, probably out of the equation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that was actually the truck I was referring to.
Oh, okay, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the pickup truck?
I don't know, I can't bring myself to drive a pickup truck, an electric one. I think probably, I do like big, so I think the 3 and the Y are probably not going to have the cargo capacity for me personally. I would probably get a Model S. I love it. I love the fact that you've got, they call it wagons in the US. the estate, whatever you call the estate form factor. I love the size of that, but if you can squeeze that into something that looks like a sports car,
Yeah.
I mean it's just perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the Model S would be. It's not a car. Sorry, sorry, not quite what you asked, is it?
Well,
Right.
I mean, that is the answer.
That's the one I'm looking forward to. Is whatever the next S is, because I don't know if it's going to evolve or if there's going to be a generational shift.
Yeah.
But it feels already like a generational shift for me,
Right.
because I have like the classic rear-wheel drive, old-fashioned, no autopilot.
Right.
So there is quite a big jump already. Give it another 4 or 5 years, and
Would be flying.
whatever
right?
that Model S is,
Right.
that's the one I want.
Okay, and then Kim, what about you?
We kind of go back and forth between this because, if we did another X or if we would do an S, I think it'd be cool. I probably would keep the X just because we need a family car.
Mhm.
But for my husband, it'd be cool if when they redo the Roadster. I think that would be a cool option for a second car since we already have the family version. Something just kind of fun
And so you're not in England, so I mean, the truck would probably fit in your driveway.
It probably would.
and
It's
the truck-
funny because I've always wanted a truck.
Like a pickup truck.
Oh, I've
Just
always
'cause
wanted a pickup truck.
You call
Not
trucks
necessarily,
tractor trailers,
yeah.
and we call them.
I like to buy. I like to repaint furniture and things like that, and kind of
It'd be fun to have a
do
pickup
some
truck,
art
so.
stuff. And
Pick
I
stuff
always
up.
am I want to be able to haul stuff around. And my husband always makes fun of me for this, but that'd be fun to have.
All right, so we want to thank the Hotel Zeta for putting us in this amazing conference room. We would not have been able to do it. There's literally no other quiet place in San Francisco. We've checked. It's loud. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to these two fantastic people, James Cooke and Kim from Like Tesla. Go check out their channels. Go subscribe. Go like all their videos. Go watch every single one of their videos. And we'll see you back in 3 months. So, thank you so much for watching. I know.